Hi, it's Mal, your gal pal, the host of Those Are the Girls with Mallory and Friends. If you're looking for a podcast that's talking about relationship, careers, and pop culture from the Christian perspective, look no further. You have found her. And this podcast, myself and some of my friends are sharing our opinions from the Christian perspective, and they might be a little bit different than what you're expecting. So go ahead, pour yourself some tea. Let's get into it. The views expressed on this podcast are our own and do not reflect our employers. Enjoy. Hi, I'm now your gal pal, and you are officially gathered around my pink desk. And you should pour yourself some tea and get ready to listen to Those Are the Girls with Mallory and Friends. Hi, welcome. I hope you like my new intro. Let me know what you think. If you absolutely hate it, let me know ASAP. But I like it, and I just want to be. I feel like I'm saying this every couple of months. There's going to be a few more changes around here, but no, not really. I like that intro, so I wanted to switch it up on you. I'm going to be doing a lot more pink desk analogies or pink desk talking because I have a Substack called From the Pink Desk of Mal. You should check it out. I'll link all that stuff later, but that's just one of the things. All right, we have a lot to talk about today. Sorry, my phone has that little sticky thing on it. We have a lot to talk about. I'm looking at the docket now. Let's do some housekeeping. First, I want to remind you that the book of the summer is The Nameless Heir, and I'm super excited. If you listen to the latest episode of Oops Spoilers, Elise actually interviewed the author, and it's a really great episode. You learn, she talks a lot about the craft of writing, but we will get into the actual not spoilers, the Oops Spoilers of it in the next episode action it. We'll get into it though, but this is the book of the summer, so check it out. But like I said, Emma, at least interviewed her for Oops Spoilers, and it's a really great episode. You should totally check it out. If you live in the Charlotte area, I am doing a Bible and Bows event. So at this coffee shop in Pineville, so Charlotte, Pineville area. This coffee shop in Pineville, you can come. I have my charms up, and you can make a really cute Bible charm. I wish I had that with me to show you. Maybe I'll be able to insert a picture here somewhere so you can see how the Bible charm will look. And I'm super excited about that. So me and Charlotte, that's going to be July 25th. I'll link all of that as well. Let's see. New episodes out. I try to get all the new episodes out on Tuesday. By the time you see this, it will not be. I believe this will come out on Wednesday. But new episodes. I also have a newsletter. I finally sent that first newsletter. I have been wanting to do a newsletter for weeks, months really, but I just didn't know what to do for my very first episode. And I don't know, I just kind of nervous, but I finally got it out, and it's called The Pink Pour. So if you have not already, make sure you subscribe at thosearethegirls.com, and you just click the subscribe button and type in your email, and that's that. Alrighty, let's see here. Anything else? Make sure I'm on my road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a long time coming. We are getting there. We are slowly but surely getting there. I really would like to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Really, the purpose of this podcast, as I've mentioned 1,000 times before, is I just really want other girls who feel the same way as I do about things, and who sometimes feel like the odd one out. Even within sometimes your Christian circles, you actually might be excited that Taylor Swift is getting married, but you feel like the odd one out. Or if you're in other circles where, you want to practice abstinence and you kind of feel like the odd one out. I just really want to have a community and have the conversations and just kind of talk about these things so people feel less alone. And the more we have in our community, the more we have with us, the better. So, like I said, make sure you subscribe on YouTube if you're watching, and share this with your friends, interact on YouTube, and all that jazz. Okay, like I said, we have much to discuss today. We have quite a few topics to cover. Let's just really get into it. So make sure you grab your teacup and let us, actually, I kind of think this would be a cute little thing to record. Let us get into the stories. Cute. All right. Actually, I need to take a sip. Okay, here we go. So the first topic is a topic that was going viral on my TikTok, and I had to share my opinion. I have to share my opinion. I'm going to share this TikTok video. I'm going to play it, and then I have so many thoughts. That's not it. Wrong video. Essentially, it's the Ashley Harrington video. I'm just going to do a little bit of the video. So let's do this again, but I'll do the links. I'll make sure I share this in there so you can listen to the full video.
Real
Okay.
So normally when I record these types of videos, I try to filter myself because I don't want to offend anyone. But I just feel so led to just like be so real because I feel like there's perhaps other girls who feel the same way. So this is me being like very real, and I'm just going to share how I feel and what I've been noticing. So the last couple of months, this has been something that's been brought to my attention. And it is how concerning it is for me as a woman who loves Jesus to see very rarely a man who loves Jesus walking fully in masculinity. Why is it that I'm getting pursued more by a man's who never goes to church, never reads his Bible? I'm getting pursued and asked out more by that kind of man than the guy who goes to church, the guy who reads his Bible. Why is it that like that's who's pursuing me? It's not men who are like going to church. And like I've been asking my friends, and I'm like, girls, are you experiencing the same thing? And they're like, yeah, these guys aren't asking anyone out. They're not asking any girls out. Okay, on top of that, like that's super concerning. But also like some of these guys who are in the world, like they are working harder than the guys that I see go to church. It doesn't mean that they need to be making more money. It's just like they're actually like having aspirations, having goals, like having vision for their life. Whereas like some of the guys at church literally like they don't work hard. They don't want to work hard. They're literally just like vibing with the spirit. It's just crazy to me that I have seen more guys who are not in the church acting more like men than the guys that I see who go to church and who read their Bible. And I just feel like that is really out of order. I want the men that I see go to church, the men that I go to church with, like I want to see those men be more manly and more masculine than the men in the world. Like I want to see them pursuing women more than the guys in the world. Like why is it that us girls, us women of God, are getting pursued more by guys who don't even ever go to church? And that doesn't make it easy for us to like be with a guy who loves God when like we're getting pursued and asked out by guys who don't really love God. Maybe are open to it. I don't know. I just genuinely think that this is out of order, and I want to see the godly men like truly step into their manhood and masculinity and like want to provide, but not only want to provide, but like want to pursue and like go after what they want, you know? So anyway, I actually really hope that this only hits the girls. It actually might hit a few guys, and this is just for you to know that like us as women of God, we want to be going on dates with guys who love the Lord. Like we really do. We do. And so yeah, we want you to step up in your manhood and your masculinity. Like we fully support that.
Okay. So I said I wasn't going to play the whole video, and I ended up playing the whole video because I wanted you to get the context, but I did speed it up. Okay, so let's discuss. So the title of this video is "We Have a Masculinity Problem in Church Right Now." The caption, "Masculinity in the Church Needs to Make a Comeback." Okay, so there's many things I want to say about this. Let's break down piece by piece. First, I want to say I am a single woman who has only been asked out by one Christian man ever. So there's that. I'm 31, so there's that. So I want to give that type of context. And there's a myriad of reasons why I have not been asked out. Some having to do, most, if not all, having to do with me. So I want to start off with that. Okay, some things that I can work on within myself, which I will get to that aspect in a second. Let's talk about the title of a masculinity problem in church. I hate that title because I don't think what she was discussing had anything to do with masculinity. I think what she was discussing is just, there's like two sides to this, or actually three sides. So, but first I just want to say, like, I don't think masculinity is the right word to describe this problem. And I think when people are talking about it, they're really getting hung up on that. And like, that's not what the problem is that she's discussing. I think, and this is as someone who is a Christian woman, who is in church, who does desire to be married, I can tell you how, and would love to be dating. I'm telling you like what I'm seeing myself and like what I've seen with other people as well. So there's like three things that I see happening. I see one, I'll do worst to best. I see one, people are not going to like this, but Christian men, there are Christian men that don't date Christian women. They flirt to convert. Those of you who grew up Christian, you know what I'm talking about. Some men flirt to convert. And a lot of times they are dating non-Christian women and are kind of trying to make them Christian because, a man's a man, and I don't have to say it. What's understood doesn't have to be said. We know why they're going out of the church. That is a real thing that happens. That's one of the things that's going on. People don't want to hear it. People don't like that. See it all the time. I have friends who aren't Christians who say that like on dating apps, they're not Christian or conservative. I see on dating apps that like Christians, conservatives like matcher than the men trying to get with them, even though they are explicitly not Christian or conservative, but they're hot. Okay. I said it. I said what it is. So that happens. It happens. Christian men are going outside of the church to find spouses, find women, but it'll add an addendum. We are not owed a spouse, a Christian spouse. We're not owed a Christian spouse. I'll get to that in a second. Second thing that I see happening is, sometimes Christian women in certain churches, some of them are not what these men are desiring. I can put myself in that category. Some of the things that I can improve on, physically, I might have, I've actually had someone say this, like, I check boxes, but I need to improve my physical. And that is a real thing that also happens in the church. I think that growing up, I always heard about how your heart, who you are on the inside, is so important and needs to be valued and desired. And I don't feel like I heard a lot about your outward appearance. I don't know why, but I feel like I just did not hear a lot about outward appearance. And the reality is, we've gotten older and we've seen, men, because once again, a man is a man. That's something that I learned. And those of you who are younger listening, that's something you learn in your later 20s. A man is a man is a man. Okay. They can do all this talking, but at the end of the day, a man want someone that they find desirable. And that doesn't happen to be you, then that just doesn't happen to be you. Okay. So there's that aspect. And, it could be they check all the boxes, but maybe this particular gentleman, he's at a church with women who are a little bit shyer, and that makes he just doesn't have that personality to help them, that has the personality to bring out the shyness or whatever. Like, maybe they're more meek, or maybe he's at a church and he wants someone a little more, there's that aspect of it. The third and final, and I think one that I think is something, the only way that we'll be able to heal the gender divide, because that's the other thing too. These gender wars are going on. It's in the church now, essentially. The biggest thing that I think will heal it is just a reminder that, like, sometimes it's okay for men not to desire you, not to want you. We're not owed a Christian spouse. I think that's something that, like, that goes back to, like, what we were taught growing up. I know that I remember, in school, so I went to Christian school, we read When God Writes Your Love Story, and we were always talking about, like, Christian men and how we can be one day Christian wives, and talk about that at church and everywhere. Da, da, da. So you get to the real world and you are like, okay, I read my Bible, I go to church, I'm bubbly, I participate in church, I'm doing these things, I'm trying to be a good Christian. You're thinking you're checking all these boxes and you're not getting what you were promised. Because that's, at least to me, that's how it felt. It felt like once I got older, I got out of my town, I was going to go into the real world, and there was going to be a Christian man who wanted me because I did all the things. I planted the seeds. I'm abstinent. I'm doing all this stuff. It's all these things, and then you get there and it's like, wait, like, that's not really how it goes. Like, that's not what's happening. And I think that sometimes we have to remember, though, like, just how, men aren't owed a woman, women aren't owed men. I think that's just one of the tough aspects about this, is I think we were sold, or we were told that, like, we would be desired. And if you're not for a man, you could also just not be in the right environment. I've been told that a couple times, that, like, maybe I'm just not in the right environment. And, that could be true. You could be in the wrong environment. There's myriad of reasons why this could be happening to you. But the fact of the matter is, we're not owed a spouse. So, like I said, it's those three things that's happening. Number one, I know for a fact that there are Christian men that are going out of Christian circles to find a spouse, that want to flirt, to convert. That's a real thing. And it's more than you think. I'll say that too. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. That's just because, once again, a man is a man is a man. Number two, you just might not be like what the particular people in your church are looking for a myriad of reasons, for reasons that you can help and reasons you cannot help. And that's okay. And that's I guess reason number three is like a subsection of reason number two. And it goes just back to, like, we aren't owed that. And I think, like, some of the, oh gosh, and I feel, because I'm one of the, like, I know that, like I said, I've only been asked out by someone, a Christian, once, and I'm 31 years old. I've had 3 boyfriends, technically really one. The other 2, I guess I couldn't really count. It's like I don't know. But I have gone on dates with non-Christians in the past, because those are the ones that were asking me out, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll give them a chance. I'm thinking about a specific one who my friend posted a picture of me. We were out and posted a picture of me on her story, and someone that she knew messaged her, was like, oh, she's cute. I've never had anything like that ever happen for a Christian. From a Christian, and once again, myriad of reasons, some in my control, some out of my control. And I think what she is saying, what many other women, and I guess myself included, it would be nice for Christian men to do that. Now, there's also this aspect, okay, so I guess number 4, or subsection B for number 2. Also, I think sometimes Christian men have a lot of pressure, and I don't want to seem like I'm making excuses for them, but I also just want to be fair to, like, the reality of what we're talking about. I think sometimes these Christian men have a lot of pressure of, like, if I ask this girl out, like we're dating to marry, and then if I ask her out, because here's the other unspoken rule that people don't like to see, and I see this, if you're a man listening, like, please listen up. Here's another unspoken rule. You cannot date too many people at the same church. I've actually seen it happen. And girls, for whatever reason, I don't understand why, personally. I personally don't think it's a big deal. I think the purpose of dating is a numbers game. You date to find your spouse. So if you have to date, 6 girls in your young adult group, then to find your spouse, so you date 6 girls to find your spouse. But a lot of girls, a lot of women, I know it because I've seen it in some people I'm friends with, they don't like that. They do not like that. Personally, I don't care. Like I said, it's a numbers game. But a lot of girls do not like that. They think that if you're dating, if you ask out, like, low-key more than like 3, or honestly, low-key more than 2, they think that you're like not a good guy. So like there's also that added pressure. So you have to, and I'm telling you this, I have seen this, especially in my 20s in 2 churches that I've been a part of. The guy that asked out, honestly, more than like 2 girls, all the girls were, that's weird. He doesn't really care. He's creepy. So there's also that added pressure to it. And I think that makes it like that gives men almost a paralysis about whether they should even go out on a limb for someone because they don't want to be labeled as that person. So there's that aspect too. And about them being serious and, taking their time. And I think like in some of the comments, because, everybody and their grandmother has commented on this. Some of the comments, some of the men are like, well, Ruth did this and women should be asking out men. Not me and not most women. And honestly, I don't think they should. And you know what? If they do, that's fine. Like that's between you, them, and God. But I'm not. And I know most women aren't. So, I would rethink that mindset if I were you. That's just my thoughts. So yeah, so just some things to think about. These are my thoughts. I just had to get them off my chest. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Like, I just hate that she used the term masculinity. Maybe bravery, but then that also can be misconstrued. I just don't think masculinity is the right word. But I do think there is a problem. I do think it is a problem because a lot of women are at church. You're not at church to meet someone. My parents met at church. You don't go to church. The one Christian person that asked me out ended up being my boyfriend, and we met at church. A great place to meet someone is at church. So there's nothing wrong with meeting someone at church. There's nothing wrong with going to church and desiring to meet someone at church. It's just difficult because there's so much miscommunication and there's so many options. That's the other problem too. There's so many options. And I think having that many options has like also been detrimental to the dating and Christian culture because like, before, really, the goals were, okay, this person does have a good heart. They do check these boxes. All right. Now it's like this person, I actually had a friend say this, like he knows someone that checks all the boxes, but there's someone else who is prettier that does check those boxes. So he's like, why would I not be with a person who is prettier but also checks the boxes? Which is harsh. But let me tell you, that's why it's good to have male friends. That's why it's good to have male friends so you know the truth. Which is harsh and kind of sucks for the girl that isn't as pretty, but like that's just how men think. Because remember, I don't care how Christian he is, a man is a man is a man. What do you think? Do you guys agree with what I said? Let me know, interact, comment on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram. Like, let me know. Is there a masculinity problem as she's defined masculinity in the church? Do you think this is a thing? Let me know. Okay. So the next story I have is about Lizzo, how she did not chart and like about what happened. But honestly, like that's kind of old news at this point. But part of the reason I want to talk about it is like discussing like who is in the Kia asylum. But actually, before I do that, I want to talk about the second big news and Taylor. Taylor and Travis got married. Let me just pull up the article. Taylor and Travis got married this past weekend, which was like really exciting. I want to see the dress. I hate that. So I am excited. Like the venue looks really cool. Like what they did, the garden, like I love that. And I love that theme. I hope like that was a theme. And the idea that she had the instrumental love story. I love that. But I do hate that she wanted this private and people have leaked. I think that's wrong. As much as I want to see it, but I want to see it on her time because at the end of the day, she's a human. And I do hate I hate when celebrities are trying really hard to be secretive about like something in their personal life and people still share it. I try not to engage, but like it was on the news and I was just like, oh, it's so pretty. And I'm sure she's going to share with us like the dress and I would love to see the details. I just love I just love love. Even in my sad girl era, I just like when people are happy. Like this is just a side note, like a personal note. One of my friends in my life, like friend has a girlfriend, and like I just love like seeing him happy. Like that's what you want for your friends. And I have two of my friends are getting married this year, and they both just seem so overwhelmingly happy. And it's like that's what you want for your friends. You want your friends to be happy. You want to know that at the end of the day, your friends are being loved and taken care of. And I just feel so, 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 so happy when I see that. Like, even, even though my love life is a wreck, I just like seeing everyone else's, and it just, despite everything, it makes me so happy. So I'm happy for her. We got those clips. It looked like a beautiful garden, and then that's it. The picture that was going viral is AI, which is another thing I hate. I really want, if people want their life private, I think we should just respect it. Obviously, once again, I'm a girly pop, so like I would like to see that. I want to see the details. I would like a nice spread. Okay, listening to the Toast, and they were saying that Vogue wouldn't be able to do it, but like anybody, do a spread. Like I would like to see the details of it. I'd like to see the dresses. I'd like to see the venue. I really want to see the venue. Like that is the thing. Like especially if they did the garden. And like even thinking about like, she didn't know if she was ever gonna get married, the prophecy song, like which also, this is just a side note. It's like this TikTok that's like going around like, this is the girl who wrote the prophecy 2 years ago. She's married. Oh, give me a little bit of hope. And I'm really not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but like, why would I give you hope? Like me personally, that doesn't give me hope. Like me and Taylor have literally nothing in common other than that we're women. Why would that give me hope? I didn't understand. But anyway, so let's talk about what I want to talk about are like the people that were there. Oh, also, okay. I'm looking at this list of some people that were there. Her best friend Abigail from high school looked gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And she was actually matching with someone else, a celebrity, or I think a football, sorry, not basketball, a football player's wife, but like, that's okay. They both look beautiful. They both slayed. Abigail was there. Actually, let's talk about who was not there. Honestly, that's like the more interesting part. Blake Lively. Let's talk about that for 5 seconds. Blake Lively was her best friend for years. Taylor is the godmother to her children, and they were not at her wedding. We know the whole Justin Baldoni thing. Danelle, when she was on here, she broke it down for us and she explained everything for us. So we know that that stuff happened, but it had to be something deeper than that. Like she's the godmother to their children. She was invited to their wedding. And here's the gag. It was over 1,000 guests. So they did not skimp on the guests. Like, J-Lo was there. Like, anybody that she had met, it seems like, was there. Which also was like a dream too. Like to be able to have all of the people that you know that love you, and like even people who you haven't seen in forever. That's like also my dream. I have some friends from college. And I'm thinking of one person in particular who recently passed away. But if I were to have like an event, I would love to just have them come, people who I haven't seen in years, who I still love and care about, and we like stay connected on Instagram. I would love to have them see them again. Like even if we're not like, obviously there's people who I see almost every day or every weekend, or who I'm able to visit a lot more because they live a lot closer. But then there's people, even people who I've met at conferences that we've only really hung out like twice at those conferences, but we don't go to conferences anymore, so we don't see each other. Like I would love to have an event or something where we get together and like something like this, and like they're who are happy and excited for you and who are still cheering for you. Like what a blessing to be able to invite every single person. So that fact that like Lively wasn't invited, okay, weird. The Taylor's Lautners weren't there. Strange. Girl Taylor is pregnant, so that could be why. But Taylor's not being there is weird. I don't think there didn't seem to be, I've been listening to podcasts talking about it. No one said anything like beef or anything like that. So I'm sure they are like kicking the ground that they could not go. Maybe she's not feeling well. Maybe she's sick. When I don't know how far along she is, but also like side note, do you think they would name their child Taylor? I really hope not. I already think like her taking his last name was kind of crazy. Like take your husband's last name, but like at the same time, I don't know. I don't think I could marry or date a Mallory. Even though Mallory is traditionally a male name. When I was younger, I want to say sometime in elementary school, we were at the library and we checked out a baby name book. Don't ask me why. It was me and my friends. And we were just looking up our names and everything. And we couldn't find Mallory. And then I don't remember why, but we scrolled in the boys section and found Mallory. And it was like an old, so it's an old English male name. It's also a surname, by the way, as well. Just sorry, did not mean to pop into my just fun facts about Mallory. But yeah, so that's weird. Anyway, Blake wasn't there. Also, Liz Woods posted it. Let me see, I screenshotted it because I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. Yeah, but tellers weren't there. Oh, Olivia Rodrigo. I am in my Olivia Rodrigo era right now. You Seem So Sad for a Girl in Love. Amazing album. I like it better than Guts. Right now for me it's Sour, long name, Guts. Love this album. Olivia wasn't there. So, Ray said Vampire is about Taylor, and obviously there's some beef. And she's so close to Sabrina. Like, I just hate that. Like, I hate that because they were close. They were so close before. And Olivia was not there. And if they had any type of, like, kind of sort of niceness between each other, then she would have been there. Let's see who was there that I do want to talk about. Anya Taylor-Joy being there, random. She's so pretty to me. And Kesha. That's so fun. I was just thinking, I wonder if Kesha was there. Ashanti and Nelly. I don't know who that is. I don't want to go through this entire list because it's like a bunch of people, like 1,000. Yeah, 1,000. Benson Boone, Bowen Yang. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder, Ariana Grande was not there, but I do wonder like what her relationship is with like Ariana. Obviously, we know Selena was there, Bradley Cooper, Camila Cabello. Who was a beautiful dress Camila's wearing? Chainsmokers, hilarious. Chainsmokers sing, So Baby, Pull Me Closer to... That song, I did not like that song, but when it came out and it was out, sorry. Sierra and Russell Wilson look fabulous. My God. They look so good. But yeah, oh, baby, pull me closer. That's why I did not like that song when it first came out, and I still kind of don't like it. It was so obviously I know it. Everybody loves that song. There's another Chainsmokers song that I like. Let me look. I think Chainsmokers. Roses. I really like Roses. Take it over. There's not giving. And they also Don't Let Me Down. Okay, yeah, I like that one too. Anyway, Chainsmokers are there. But yeah, like it's really exciting. I'm super happy. And I think that ideally, they're going to babies soon to, have their family. And I'm happy for them. I'm just really happy for them. And I wish them the best. Travis is quite a gentleman. I'm telling you, he's quite a gentleman. I did not see this coming, but the thing is, like, you want to be someone who you're happy with. You want to be someone who encourages you and who supports you. And I think like some of the other qualities that we think that we want or we think that we need just go out the window, go out the door when we're really when we're with the person who is our person. And I think like that is what they are. Like they just seem like they have a lot of fun together. And that's really what you want. Like you want someone you're going to have fun with, someone who is going to encourage you and uplift you and just that they're that for each other, which once again, like, that's what you want for people. That's what you want for everyone. So yeah. Okay. I don't really want to talk about this Lizzo thing. I did at first because it's just really, I guess I'll talk about it. And then, yeah, why not? So Rolling Stones did this article about Lizzo's album. It did not even chart, okay? Which is crazy. In the first week, it sold just 2,650 copies. Unheard of. Because, Lizzo, everybody knows, why men great till they gotta be great. I just took a deep that song. We all know and love that song. And I mean, I remember there was times like the concerts. Remember when she did the flute? She played. I do like that a lot. I like when people do things that are just like, why is this rapper girl playing the flute? Like that. I like that. I like why she pulled out the flute and everything. I like that. So there was just a time when like, sorry, let me move my phone. I'm like, do not disturb. There was a time where like she was like everywhere, where everyone loved her. And then you guys remember was it 2 years ago, the lawsuit? And it's not funny, but every time I think about like one of the accusations was like she was called into the office called into somewhere and she cracked her knuckles when she was trying to intimidate the girl or whatever. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. Like she's some sort of mob boss. Like, Lord forgive me, that is so funny. But once again, we know that doesn't, stuff like that, like that's more than the banana. That is gross, I will say. But, for the most part, stuff like that does not, disqualify you from being famous. I mean, Kanye West. There's people who have done much worse and they're still famous and still get people listening to their music. Everybody's like talking about like, what is it that did it? And, I haven't heard a single song, but I'm guessing she's still making music from that time now. And same with Meghan Trainor, who I don't mind. I like Meghan Trainor, but like they're stuck in this era. Oh, and Katy Perry is a good example. They're stuck in this era like that we've moved past. Olivia Rodrigo, Gracie Abrams, Billie Eilish, like Sabrina, that's more of the style of music right now. And I think what happens when you're an artist like this, when you're an artist or creative, you pick a lane and you stay in it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the reality is like when you're making things that are like that, the time, like people's cars are going to get off at the next exit. And that's what people have done. You're still in the lane, but a lot of cars are exiting. This is a terrible analogy, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. And I think that's probably what it is. Like, it's just not good music anymore. It's not what people want to hear. Sorry, I want to hear Billy and Olivia and Gracie and Phoebe Bridgers, who I just got into. I want to listen to them. I don't want to, it's about dang time. Wait a minute. I don't want to hear that. I know. I just don't. And I think I'm not alone in that because, these women are some of the most famous women or the most downloaded, most popular at this time in music. And I think, I go as a creative myself. You think about like I would say even with this podcast, for example, like what this podcast started out as, and like when you look at the numbers, certain topics are just skyrocketed. People love hearing about that. And then time passed and people are like, not anymore. And you have to learn, do you stay in your own lane or do you adapt? Do you still make it yours or do you, change up some things here and there? And I think Lizzo has to do that. And I think we can add this to any type of thing. If you're a writer, if you are a podcaster, if you do any type of creative thing that requires the world, the community, like people to enjoy, and which I low key do hate that, like, don't care about people's opinions, but it is people's opinions who does, it is the people who are downloading your music. So like their opinion does matter. And I don't know if that's just me. If you know me personally, I'm very literal. So when people say that, I'm like, okay, but like her opinion does matter about my podcast because she is the person I'm trying to reach out to. So I can't not listen to it. But that's something to think about though, like in any of your endeavors that you're doing. And then it also got me thinking about like who is in the Kia Asylum. For those who do not know, the Kia Asylum, I don't really know why it's called the Kia Asylum, but essentially it's people who were like super popular, had really good songs, went viral, and then like zilch, you hear nothing about them now. And people I'm thinking of, well, the first person I thought of was Hey Violet, but that's like very niche. I don't think they were like super popular. But in college, they had some really good music that I just love, but I don't know anything about them. Let's look up real quick since we're on the topic. People in the Kia Asylum. And who do you think is in the Kia Asylum? Kia Asylum. Ooh, I do not know who. People in the Kia, here we go, Kia Asylum. People in their flop era. Let's see here. Who's in the Kia Asylum? BB Rexa, Ava Max, Rita Ora, Meghan Trainor. Yeah, Katy Perry. Yeah, it's just, what's so crazy about Katy Perry is like, my ringtone is still Roar by Katy Perry. Whenever I have to do something that's like requiring like me making a big decision or like a huge interview or something that like I'm really, really nervous about, I listen to Firework. And fun fact about me, in 11th and 12th grade, Nordstrom had this like program for people for high schoolers that you applied for if you were interested in fashion. And I was a part of it. So we would have these meetings and we would kind of like help the store pick certain trends. And then we would have meetings where we learn a little bit about fashion. It was in 11th and 12th grade. I feel like I've never shared that with anyone, but like, I was a part of that. I forgot what it was called, but it was with Nordstrom's. Team Nordstrom's. Team Nordstrom? It was Nordstrom. Their teen section, though. And, like, we had to, like, model ones. Like, I got these really cute pair of jeans. And, like, I was not a jeans person because I was also chubby and plus size. I'm pretty sure it was me and one other girl with only plus size ones. So, I mean, and I won another black woman. Girls. We were in high school, black girls. But it was like me and one other girl plus size. So we were like the plus size representation. And I had to wear these jeans and I was so nervous. But even doing my interview, I was so nervous. And I was sitting down, waiting to the interview, and firework came on. And I don't know why, like that, it just gave me such courage. And then like I got it. And it was one of those things that I did not think I was going to get. And it was just like, wow, fireworks, like, I can do it. Maybe I am a firework. So anytime I have anything big, like an interview or something, I'm about to do something and I'm like kind of nervous, I always listen to firework. So Katy Perry just like such a like, and now she is just so like corny. Like I don't, it's so weird. But I was listening to ET this morning on the way to work. So that's that Katy Perry, Conan Gray, Shawn Mendes. Okay, let me say Shawn Mendes is Lana in the Kias. I don't know Lana is not. That's so funny. Shawn Mendes, for sure. You know, I've said this before. I get Shawn Mendes and Charlie Puth mixed up. Who said it in a recent thing that they were... Never mind, I'm not going to share that. But Ava Max. Let's look her up real quick. And then we have one last story that I am going to share, and then we're going to get out of here. Ava Max. Ava Max. What does she sing? Something sweet and she psycho a little bit. That's all. She's sweet but a psycho, a little psycho. I scream in oh, she was on the Barbie album. Interesting. Okay, well, Ava's in there. That confirmed it for me. Who do you think's in this Kia Asylum? Anybody else you think? I cannot get over someone asked if... I'm looking at this thing too. So funny they have Ed Sheeran in here. It's because Ed Sheeran just hasn't posted anything. Elisa, what's that girl? Elisa, what is her name? You guys know who I'm talking about. She sings that song. What's this? Kia Asylum. Let's see who they have here. Iggy Azalea. Does Iggy Azalea even make music anymore? BB Rexa. Okay, and not gonna lie, I'm looking at this thing. I don't know who these people are. Camilla is okay, so this list has like Camilla. It says Camilla is buying her ticket, and so is Demi. Not too much of my girl Demi. Sabrina came out. Miley's albums may not peak number one. She's got hits, not many number ones. Not a performer turning into a vocalist. Albums may not peak number one, but got hits. Streaming Force will debut number one, not performers. Billy and Olivia. Streaming Force will not debut number one, but will later become hits. Dua and I'm blanking on this girl's name. Moo, I'm a cow, that song. Oh my gosh. Why am I... Doja Cat. Flop with Unbroken, biggest Billboard pop record, Katy Perry. Yeah, well, guys, what do you think's in the Kia Asylum? Let me know. Who do you think just like fell off? And you know, Lizzo was not at Taylor Swift's wedding. What do Lizzo and Taylor, are they friends? Like, would they be? SZA, I think SZA likes Taylor. SZA wasn't there, I don't think. I haven't seen her in anything, but I think SZA and Taylor are friends. Ice Spice was there, which is also interesting, weird friendship. Not an Ice Spice fan, but anyway. Last story. I wanted to talk about this, and it's so crazy, and it's sad because the day that I'm recording this, there's also another person who this happens to. But it's about, I'll link the story just so you're aware, but I do want to talk a little bit about the girl, Marley Kinney. She was ID'd, and her body was found in Kentucky, like after vanishing from a boat party. And then the day I'm recording this, it went viral. Another young gentleman was boating with his friends, and then nobody knew where he was, and they found him deceased as well. I want to talk about that really quick, just as an overview of my thoughts on this. I did a boat day for the very first time, probably like 5 years ago. I have to at least once a summer now. That is the life I want to live. That boating is so fun. Being on the lake in the water, just sitting back with the wind. Like literally, if you follow my personal TikTok, you've seen that the TikTok I did is like really funny. When like you're on the boat for like 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden like everything's great. I've never been sad before. I'm so happy. Like the world is an oyster. Love everyone. You know, you get all happy because it's just so like I love it. Like it is a life I'm meant to live. I have to at least do it once a summer. At least once. I've been already once this summer. I'm supposed to go again next month. Twice actually, but maybe just once. We'll see. So I love it. So I love doing this thing. I'm always going to say that you should do it. Here's something, caveat, something to think about. It is really important though. Like water safety is super important in general. Lots of things can change and happen in the water. And then making sure that you things like this, specifically water, this is what we're talking about as well. You're with friends, like people who you know are going to look out for you. When the girl, I said to some of my friends, like, oh, I thank God for like you guys, because like never, like I can't. If one of our friends last time we were out, he like disappeared for like 5 seconds, following a dog, and I read, oh, where, like we just, that's just kind of how. I don't know, like it's so hard for me to fathom, like how big is this boat that you stop, the person goes to the bathroom, because this is what happened. They say they stopped somewhere, she went to the bathroom, and then they forgot her to pick her up or something like that. Like how big is the boat that you could do that you would forget? And then like the driver would have to be out of it, which is illegal. The driver would have to be out of it. Like it's unfathomable to me. Unfathomable to me that this could happen. But I think a lot of it is like just making sure that we are aware of our surroundings and that we're around people who, will care about us. And, I'm not saying these are people that will like lay down their life for you, but people that aren't going to leave you. That is just so crazy to me, leaving someone. And then also making sure that you're the person who is not leaving someone. Like you are the person looking out for people, like you be that person in the friend group that like, oh wait, where's Bob? Where's Mary Sue? I don't see Mary Sue. Like you be that person. And then I just like, that is so crazy. And it's so sad. It is so sad, especially because like at least for me, and maybe it's also because, at least once a summer. So I'm not every weekend, but like for me, these are always like the most fun times you're having with your friends. Everybody's on a high that day, even if like the night before you guys were fighting over something, like that next day, like you get your Sammys, you have all of your drinks, your water, drink lots of water this summer today, like this year when I went for my friend's birthday. That next day, I was like, I was so dehydrated. I could not believe how dehydrated I was. And I was so sunburned, but that's another conversation. And I'm Black, as you can see. I don't get sunburned. It was the first time the sun ever betrayed me like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. But like, these are such fun days. These are like the days you're spending time with your friends. You're laughing. Like, really, like, how can you be mad or sad? Like, you're just happy. You're listening to music. You're playing in the water. You're jumping. You're relaxing. Sometimes you're so comfortable. You're falling asleep on the boat. Like there's just so many. Like it's just such a good, happy, exciting day, and it's just so sad that it turns into this. But I think like we just have to be careful who we're spending our time with, making sure that we are being the people who will call things out, and then also making sure that we are water safety is important. Water safety is so important. I don't know if either one of I think both of the kids could swim, but making sure that like I've thought about this, like, you put some time, like you have to pay for the boat, you put your money into it, you're excited and everything. And then like the water gets a little strange or different. So then you're like, oh, I don't know if actually it's even worse with friends. Cause your friends, you're like, oh, they know, like you're more comfortable with your friends. But anyway, you're like, I don't know, like maybe we should just still go out, like using common sense and be like, maybe we shouldn't go out, even if you put all this money and time in, and just be like, okay, it's not worth it, type of thing. So all of you young people watching, have fun out in the water in the summer. Do it. Say yes. It is truly a good time, especially when you're with your friends. You're laughing, you're listening to music, you're sharing stories, you're making jokes, you're playing games. Like go have fun, enjoy yourself, and at the same time, like be careful and be cautious. Make sure you are at the very least looking out for your friends. So yeah, I just wanted to say that PSA for the rest of the summer for those listening who still are going to go out. I just wanted to get that last little PSA. Yeah. All right. That is this week's episode of Those Are the Girls. Thank you for coming to my pink desk. I'll post a pour reflect questions for our journaling. We're journaling this summer. I'll post those later. I have them all right here. Yeah. All right. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure that you share this with your friends. Comment, let me know what you think about some of the things that I talked about. Like, subscribe, all the things. Have a good day, night, evening, however, wherever you're listening.